Hey y'all, it's your girl Who Swirls coming at you with another IDC question of the week. Age-old problem with a cultural and interracial conflict where you have a white American woman who's been dating an Asian guy for about a year and a half. Their relationship is pretty nice. She's loving him. He seems to be loving her. However, when he talks to his family, he's not referring to her as the love of his life, the apple of his eye, the honey on his sliced bread. She's just a friend. So she's a little bit concerned about it, and he has mentioned that his family is a little bit not comfortable with the interracial aspect and probably the intercultural aspect, and we'll get to that in a minute. And also, to convolute the problem even more, her dad's basically a bigot and a misogynist. She's mentioned that. He's probably not excited about her dating an Asian guy, but she's very clear about her intentions to stay in the relationship. She shows pictures of them together, and she's making it clear that this is the man who she wants to be with. Now, take that as an example of what the boyfriend is not doing on his end. But we first have to put this in sort of a cultural perspective. Asian culture, especially Asian culture that is still very rooted in the country of origin, is very community focused. The individual is not celebrated. The group and the augmentation and the continuation and the legacy and the stature is the most important thing in the family. It's about carrying on family name, culture, etc. That's very, very important. Also important is the fact that the sons really carry the responsibility of carrying on the culture, not only just of that particular culture and nationality, but just the culture of the family. The son is everything, right or wrong. That's it. There's a lot more responsibility for the son, and there's also a lot more expectations for the son to marry another person who shares the same cultural values. So you don't necessarily have an issue with bigotry when it comes to the Asian community not accepting an interracial relationship, but more of a fear that maybe the traditions and the values of the person that they're seeing who's an outsider may not have a certain respect for, or may not understand the value of carrying on those traditions. And a lot of the times it is the son and the wife who takes in the elderly parents. So there's a lot at stake when it comes to who the son takes as a wife. So that's just to put that in a little bit of perspective. I'm not apologizing for him. I'm just saying that when you're talking about very traditional Asian families, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm not in a traditional Asian family. This is just what I have observed and what people have told me in dozens and dozens of interviews that I've had with Asian men and women who have been in interracial relationships, and these are the challenges. Now, does that mean that the young lady should lose hope? No, but I think that she needs to be very clear about where he wants this to go, because it sounds like from her end that she's looking at this guy as the guy, as potential husband and father of her kids. And what I don't want her to do is waste another year and a half with a guy who's just kind of going with the flow until he finds the nice Asian girlfriend that his family will approve of. That's not fair. I mean, it really isn't. You can't do that to women. Asian men, if you're dating non-Asian women and you're not serious about them and you have no intention of marrying them, just make sure that you say it from the beginning. Just be open and upfront. Don't keep somebody hanging. Now, there is hope if your boyfriend is really dedicated to making it work with you and wants to be with you and is going to grow some gonads and tell his parents and his family that this is the person that he wants to be with, you can help him by showing respect for the culture, by learning the language, learning to cook the food, understanding the importance of the wife's role in a traditional Asian marriage and how the wife interacts with the parents. If all that is okay with you, and if you are willing to compromise in that way, there may be hope. But ultimately, it's up to the guy if he's going to put his personal happiness over what his family expects of him. And that, my dear, is something that you need to ascertain sooner than later. You don't want to waste a third of a decade with a person who has never had any intention on making you the wife. Don't do it. All right, guys, if you have a question for me, reach out to us on our Facebook page. That is facebook.com/Interracial Dating Central. You can ask the question right in the comment box under this video, or if you want to keep it kind of on the low, just between the two of us, you can DM and we'll get back to you, especially if they're really juicy. All right, guys, until next time, ta-ta, keep swirling.